finds Luke Patton right on the chest, who did not have to move a boot.
Well, not a bad start by the Raiders. That's exactly what they've got to do. They've got to play out their sets of 6 without making any mistakes. Once they get inside the opposition's 20, then they're a chance to work, but they cannot afford to hand it up on a plate to the Bulldogs, because the Dogs, they're hungry.
Here's Britt going across the halfway line. Mountain hands it back. It comes to Barry Ward, who pops a pass over the top to Darren Smith. He turns it to Vungana. Mountain again through Hughes to his brother. Patton gives it off to Willie Turlau, to Brett Howland, back in the top grade after spending some time in First Division. Here's Sherwin chipping over the top. Players racing through, including El Masri, but getting back to clean it up. Wolfram was bundled back into the in-goal area, and the Raiders will have to drop it out from their own line.
Yeah, great chase by the Doggies. A real bit of vision there, Sean, getting the kick away, and then they just converged on him. I thought it almost stopped in the field of play, but Jim Momentum carried him. Here's the kick. It's a beaut kick. He kicks it into space, and there's plenty there. It's a foot race. Not a great deal in it. And the slide, there's the second effort right at the death. I think it was a bit unlucky.
Here's Ward again, gathering steam as he came towards them, but a solid tackle. Terry Martin was there. Britt comes up towards the Raiders 20. They go to the right-hand side. A bad pass from Mountain. It was intended for Sherwin. And now Vungana has to go back the best part of 15 metres to clean it up. Still standing in the tackle. Rutherson finally drags him to ground. 2.5 minutes gone here. No score still at the showground. Here's Ward again. 4 hit-ups already for him. Nicky down low making the tackle. Through Hughes, through his brother Glenn. Last tackle, still outside the Raiders 20. It's been a great set of 6 for them. Hughes it is. Goes high to the air this time. Chance for El Masri once more. He didn't get to it. The ball came backwards off the hands there of Sione Faumuina, and it will land with the Raiders. They'll work it away from inside their own 20 again.
Well, that was a great defensive set by the Raiders. They kept their line, they kept moving up, and defensively the Raiders have been pretty good this season. It's been with the football where they've struggled. We mentioned earlier about their ability to put points on the board. The Dogs, they do miss plenty of tackles in their first up efforts, but it's been their scrambling defence that's kept them in the game all year. As we see a serious injury, another one.
4th tackle. See, the Raiders just can't take a trick today. The right knee, it doesn't look good.
Michael Hodgson is the player down. Former Parramatta Eel, of course. His first season of football with the Raiders, and they can ill afford to have another forward out of action due to injury. They've had a terrible run in recent times. Darren Britta was down low who made the tackle. And you can just see the knee there. Oh, that's nasty. They never look good. Normal motion or replay. And that would be terrible start for the Raiders in this game, and well, their bad luck just continues.
Well, the bad luck, and it's in the one position where the Raiders are struggling, as Darren Porter, the 29-year-old, gets his first taste of top grade. And what a moment this will be here in this guy's career. He's been playing local footy up until this year. He's played First Division for the Canberra Raiders, and he gets his opportunity with the Raiders struggling for numbers in the front row. We wish the young, or can't say young fellow, but we can wish him all the best. And Hodgson is a good young player. He's had a lot of terrible luck with injuries. He hurt his shoulder in the pre-season game. He came back about a month ago. Now he's gone down with a knee injury. It looks to be a serious one.
Yes, the tragedy continues as far as injuries go for the Canberra Raiders, but we're going to see Darren Porter come onto the field, one of the oldest debutants in the NRL, perhaps the NRL has ever seen, or at least equal to it. But what he's done, he's been playing some First Division football. He won man of the match last week. He was spotted by the new coach, Matt Elliott. I think Elliott looking to place a bit of a stamp on the club. Chose to go with him. A bit of a gamble, but he's been just thrown straight in. No chance to acclimatise.
We went through the list of injured Raiders before the game started, and I didn't fancy there'd be another name added to that list with Only something like 3.5 minutes gone here in this game against the Bulldogs. It would appear that Michael Hodgson won't be back in this game, you would think. And the Raiders will be a man short as far as the bench goes for pretty much the entire 80 minutes. Let me put some pressure on them now. Finch with a better kick this time. The gap between Howland and Patton, and Howland has to go all the way back to his own goal line almost to retrieve it.
Well, I think that'll be part of the tactics. They're not quite as big as the Bulldogs up front. The Canberra Raiders will want to move the big men around. They'll want to have kicks like that, a nice long one that makes them turn and sprint back maybe 30, 40 metres to get back into the play. They've got to tire them out because they've got to try and match them physically and wear them down.
The ball came loose there in the tackle. Play on was the ruling from Mark Oaten as Britt turns side on as he comes to Ruben Wicking. The help of Nagus in there as well, getting in close to the action. Polomata midfield goes to his left-hand side where he finds Corey Hughes, puts a high kick in for Schifofsky. The Raiders have done well here in this particular set. They've got the ball. They're just 15 metres short of the halfway line.
Well, they've been very enthusiastic tonight, the Canberra Raiders, getting off their line, putting plenty of pressure on the Bulldogs ball runners. Their kicking game, Brett Finch, he's found space on a number of times.
I want both those blokes standing square, okay? Not beside each other.
Give away a penalty.
Some pressure early on here. The Bulldogs, one of the most penalised sides in the NRL. The Raiders give away very few penalties. Tongue will play it. About 18 out from the Bulldogs line. Hutchison goes forward. Gap closed between Darren Smith and Darren Britt there. Wolford goes quickly, turns it back on the inside for Finch. Now Hutchison with the offload. Straight line from the Bulldogs, stops the halfback. About 8 metres out. Schifofsky in at first receiver. Gives it back for Porter. Beat the first tackle there of Jamie Feeney. He plays it quickly as well. Wolford back to Schifofsky. He puts his head down, looks at the line. Did he get there? I think he might have. Mark Oden.
See if he got it down that first time.
He wants to see how long it took
I think other than that, he's going to be held up.
To get the ball on the ground.
Yeah, no, listen. I'm having a look for the grounding first time. Other than that, I think he's held up.
Reed heard it. He doesn't get the contact with the ground the first time here as he tries to put it down. He in fact lost the ball there. Might have regained it there. Well, it seemed to take an eternity, obviously, in slow motion. How long did it take in real time? Was there contact just there after he regained the ball before it made contact with the ground off the head of Patton?
Well, I think that's a try, Warren. I think that there he doesn't get it down, but when he rolls it over there, I think he might have touched the ground. It does take an eternity for him to actually find the ground. This will give us a better view.
You know, I think the second effort doesn't go down there. No, now, if he controls it there, here's where he stands there, bang. If that's the try, well, so be it. But I think that is the only time that he had the ball forced on the ground in goal. And whether the referee will do that in enough time, well, only the video referee can tell us that.
The video referee is Chris Ward.
But it's interesting though, Schifofsky has moved in, playing a pivotal role already in this game. A couple of times he's taken the first pass, and even in position then to take the first pass to propel him towards the line. So
his decision.
A bit of a senior head coming into the back line, hoping to organise play inside the 20.
Chris Ward has a decision. Very close run thing, this one. A try to the Raiders. They will play from in front tonight against the Bulldogs.
Guys to have their fullbacks playing up in the front line, first and second receivers. And Schifofsky in that set of 6 done it fantastically well. He got the ball, he took the ball to the line, coming off Wolford. He just ducked his head and was able to put the first try on the board for the Raiders.
Yeah, well, Laurie, what he gives him a bit of pace there. Early pace off the mark, and that's what got him through the hole there. Quick Schifofsky up against a couple of big forwards, not too good at laterally moving side to side, and he went straight through the middle. Just that he was so quick, that's what got him home.
It just gives the Raiders another attacking option. I've noticed that over the last couple of weeks, a lot of fullbacks hanging around the middle of the ruck. They come in and play first and second receiver. It just takes a bit of pressure off the half and 5'8", and he is one of the most experienced blokes in this Raiders outfit, taking a bit of pressure off the younger guys.
His kicking has been good this year. Only had the 2 chances last week against the Warriors, but makes no mistake with this one. And the Raiders, very handy start for them, 6-0 over the Bulldogs with almost 8 minutes gone here at the showground. Kenny Nagus, one of the most experienced Raiders out there now, with the likes of Croker missing. There aren't too many Raiders surviving from their last grand final victory against this particular side back in 1994. Nagus is certainly one, the dwindling number. Here's Rutchison again. Some good work at this end of the field, bringing the ball back out for the Raiders against the Bulldogs.
Now, in past matches, this is where the Raiders have fallen down. They've failed to complete their 6 of 6 coming back from the try. They've almost worked it to the 40. They need one more tackle, one more hit up, and then they need to play it down the other end of the football field.
Finch gives it away to Nagus. Gets out Armstrong, dumps it back from McClendon. Comes away to Terry Martin, who's brought down and get a pass away though to Alan Tongue, who just gets across the halfway line. Down the short side, Falmawina. Rangy type, athletic, Mr. David Violecki type. Here's Brett Finch, got away from the first tackle. Comes back to Shafosky again, just waiting behind the play there. One pass behind, waiting for a ball. He gets a ball away now to Darren Porter. Taken over the top by Britt, who will get called out for a high tackle.
Darren, caught him high, mate. Hit him above the shoulder, take him down. It's a penalty against you, high shot.
Around about 30 metres out, we'll wait and see what the Raiders do if they attempt to take the shot at goal here for the 2 points. No doubt about the tackle, though. Not a lot in it, but certainly high enough for Britt to be penalised. And it will give Shafosky the chance to add another 2.
An easy shot for Britt coming across, swinging right arm, but I think penalty sufficient. You're dead right, Warren.
Spate of players, of course, placed on report in recent weeks. 4 high shots.
I think that might be a sign too, Warren, of the Bulldogs a little frustrated. They didn't expect the Raiders to come out with this enthusiasm and to matching it with the Bulldogs. I think that Darren Brick's taken it upon himself to say to the guys, hey, we've got to match this enthusiasm and aggression from the Raiders, and the captain leading the way.
And this kick about 15 metres in from that eastern touchline. No troubles with the distance for Shafosky. Would be a very handy start for them. 8-0 if they could pilot this one across. Struck beautifully once again, hooking, but just inside that left hand upright. Good kick from the fullback. Scoreline of 8-0 here. 11 minutes gone. Aaron Britt, Chief Executive of the Canberra Raiders, Kevin Hill alongside him, coming back to the bench there on crutches. A great sign, and you would think that Hodgson won't be back obviously tonight. Here's Wolfram, coming from dummy half. Britt couldn't get him to ground. Wolfram played away pretty quick. Vegas as the ball jolted loose in the tackle. Talau turned it back for Patton. There's the fullback knock it on. No, he didn't, according to Marco. He says play on as Allen got back there to clean it up. There is Patton now. The Bulldogs, 43 out from the Raiders line. Polomauta away to Darren Britt. Ball away as well. Sherwin it is who will play it now. Come back to the left-hand side. Hughes. Over to his brother Glenn. Good tackle by Ken Nagus on Jamie Feeney. There's Corey Hughes giving it off to Darren Britt. Popped the ball forward, straight into the arms of Alan Tongue. Trying to move it quickly from one side to the other. It worked early on last week against the Storm.
You're over the top too, Craig. No thanks, no thanks.
Craig Polomauta too slow to use, to leave the tackle there. The 100th penalty conceded this season by the Bulldogs. Second most penalised side in first grade.
I would say the Raiders don't need much help. If they can get the penalty count on their side, it might be just enough.
They had a welter of penalties go their way last week, and they couldn't use them against the Warriors, but they're playing a bit more enthusiasm, a bit more purpose tonight here against the Bulldogs, although a miscommunication here. Bungana cleans it up, gets the ball back to Sherwin. And the Bulldogs looking to counter-attack. Straight away will play it at the 30.
Wait.
Penalises Terry Martin. They took a quick tap.
It's here.
Mark
I'll give him the
will call
mark
it back.
first and then he'll take it, okay?
Good thing perhaps for the Raiders.
What's up here?
Mark Oaten called
Larry,
the
you want
play
someone?
back.
Do you want any help?
An injured player back downfield. Mark Oaten, though, says play on. And they'll have it from inside the 20. There is Nigel Vungana down with a knee injury, it also appears. Here's Barry Ward. They're tackling just outside the 10. And the Raiders hang on. First time the Bulldogs have been at this range. Here's Darren Britt launching himself at them. He's only a few metres away. Polamatta goes himself from dummy half. All ready for him. Porter there with the help of Hutchison. Corey Hughes in the dummy half. Gives it off to Sherwin. Comes back to Hughes now. Fires it to Brother Glenn. He gives it back to Patton, who tracks back infield. He runs into Jamie Feeney almost. Pass that could have been forward. The Raiders appealed for a forward pass, but Oaten says play on. Polamatta looking from dummy half. Penalty to the Bulldogs again. Polamatta takes a quick tap and gets across the line to score.
Just hang on. He's in front of you, What we want to have a look at is the grounding and also check to see if there was a player in front of it.
They want to take a look and see if somebody was offside. When Polamatta took the quick tap, he was at pretty close range when he took it. This angle here will show us the grounding. There it is. Well, was it short there? Did it continue on to end up on the line? I think it ended up on the line. This angle here will show us. Can't see there. No doubt about the ball being short and then rolled onto the line by Polamatta.
He wasn't there, and he always steadies them as we take just another look. I think he banged down just a bit short. The second effort is here. Here's where it's short now to pull towards him. There it is. That's what I think the second effort is.
Now, let's take a look at this particular moment, which was when Polamatta takes the tap. Was there a player in front of him? And that would, of course, would mean, here he is, with Feeney still in front of him. No doubt that Feeney was offside when Polamatta took the tap, so there'll be no question mark now about the try being scored. It will be a no try.
That will be a penalty to the Raiders. Offside. He's taken the tap too quickly, Polamatta. I think it would have been a no try anyhow with a double movement, but we'll wait and see what the video ref has for us.
A resigned look on the face there of Craig Polamatta. I think he knows his fate. We wait for the official decision from the video referee, Chris Ward. He's had a busy night already. The scoring chances for both teams have required his input. No try to score was the story.
Because there was a bloke in front of
Well,
the tap.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't look good for the Raiders. This is the first time that the Dogs have been down there, and they just about crumpled. So it doesn't spell out a good song, a good tune for this Raiders outfit, let me tell you.
Will play it. Willie Mason on. Nigel Vungana off with that knee injury. That will force a reshuffle for the Bulldogs. I think Darren Smith would move to the centres as Wolford goes down the field. Tackled by Willie Mason just over the halfway line. Here's McClendon now. He'll open up a gap in and around the ruck area. Wolford goes quickly from dummy half. Kicks over the top. Looking for the ball to sit down in the in-goal area. It won't. Fairly firm surface here at the showground. That one rolling easily over the dead ball line.
Well, they look dangerous, the Raiders, when Wolford can get out of dummy half, pick up his runners. He's got all the skills. That time the kick just going too far.
Here's Brick. Tackled by Darren Porter with the help of Ruben Wiki. Solid start for the debutant in his First chance to Lau. The player just short of the halfway line. Howland. One of the big off-season signings for the Bulldogs. Gets his chance back in the top grade again tonight. Pull him out of this time. Going to chip it over the top of Shafovsky, but he got across with good speed, the fullback, and now brings it back midfield. The one away from Corey Hughes, gets past him, ducking under players. He does it so often, beating 2 or 3 players as he brings the ball back. Almost a la Brett Hodgson, his teammate of last year at Parramatta.
Yeah, a lot of hidden leg drive for Cook Shafovsky.
Rutgerson gives it away to Terry Martin. Just short of that 40-metre line. Wilfred, give it off to Finch. So to Alan Tongue, they're away. Here's McClendon, and Brett Finch inside him finds Ruben Wiki. He'll try and keep it alive, but can't do so. A desperate tackle made by Willie Talau. It comes back to Finch. And Masri raced up quickly out of the line. A long pass over the top to Terry Martin. Back on the inside for Rutgerson. He's just metres away. On the last tackle now for the Raiders. For their second try of the game, Wolfram gives it off to Wolford. He grubbers for the in goal. The kick again will be too big. A poor finish to a great set of 6.
It was a great set of 6 by the Raiders. They're having some success with short passes on the middle of the ruck, on the edge of the ruck, I'm sorry. That's where the Doggies have a lot of success with the likes of Britt scouting wide, but the Raiders are getting 1, 2, 3 passes strung together. They're finding holes in this Bulldogs outfit. I've got to give a rap to Sean Rutgerson. He's been outstanding in this first 15, 16 minutes for the Raiders, continually carting the ball forward, making a lot of yards.
I'd say the Raiders' attack is all about pace. They're putting pressure on the defence because they're doing things quickly, and that's why they're making such easy yards.
Darren Britt. Play it back to Polomata. Comes to Sherwin. Chips over the top, looking for himself. Good work from Alan Tongue, who shepherded Sherwin's run quite legally. And now Shafovsky was almost away again. A desperate tackle made by Corey Hughes. Here's Finch as the Raiders go on the counter now. Manuel wrapped up by his opposite number, Brett Howland there. Loading to the ground, McClendon comes back to Ruben Wiki, wrapping around to the blind side. Bounced away from a couple of players. It's an offloaded way as well to Nagus. Tries to hold off Mason. Here's McClendon. Got the ball back to Manuel. He can't beat Sherwin, but McClendon can. What a try by the Raiders. They work the short side down this side of the field, and they're in again. It's 12-0 over the Bulldogs.
Well, it was great work by Ruben Wiki, sensing that they were short on the short side. He come from the open to the short side. You see they only had one marker. Bumps off a couple, gets a bit of second phase play happening. And when they can create second phase play, they've got dangerous players that can run the football. Nagus is one. This guy's another, McClendon. Then they give it to Manuel, does well. Howland comes again, tries to put him over the sideline. McClendon backs up, and this is a fantastic start for the Green Machine.
Yeah, the Dogs play a very flat line. Once there's a whole lot of second phase play, which is what happens here that gives Nagus the room to go through, then they're in all sorts of problems. But gee, they kept a very cool head. That ball from McClendon. Here's another cool head. Simple pass back inside. Was all about mature footballs. They may be only youngsters.
It's been sensational. I mentioned Rutgerson. Wolford out a dummy half. When they can create a bit of a platform, he can get out and he can cause a lot of damage.
Shafovsky, an 84% success rate this year. Puts him in the top echelon of kickers. And this one from a pretty simple range. Great start for the Raiders. Will take them to a lead of 14 points to 0. It's been outmatched at the moment, this Bulldogs forward pack. Cast your mind back to round 2 though, the game between these two sides. The Raiders led 12-6 at half-time and looked very good in leading by 6 at the break, but were overrun. An awesome second half performance by the Bulldogs down at Bruce Stadium. Shafovsky sticks this between the posts as well. And what a scoreline we have here here at the showground. The Raiders, winless in their last 5 games, lead the Bulldogs 14 points to 0.
14 points is never, and make sure that they get their first up tackles, their point of contact. They've got to wrap the football up, and also they've just got to hang in there and wait for the possession to turn around. The Raiders have dominated this part of the game.
Here is Rutchison. Brings it back out towards the 20. Raiders, 3 line breaks. The Bulldogs 0. Nagus tracking across field. See those missed tackles as well for the Bulldogs. 13 off them as Porter takes it up to the 30-metre line. Wolford has Tongue outside him. Gives it to the second rower. Polamatta comes up quickly to Tongue. Another offload. Really has developed that facet of his game, especially this season. Steve Reardon is out there with Jamie Feeney off the field. As Rutchison is picked off by Barry Ward from marker. Finch with the kick. Drives it down towards Luke Patton again. He finds the fullback. He picked him out with the first kick of the game, and he's done it again on that occasion. Patton was able to bring it back outside the Bulldogs 30. Reardon. A great pass to El Masri. Darren Smith outside him at the moment. Here is Reardon. Some Alan Tongue. Corey Hughes. Good hands at first receiver. Away to Willie Mason. Oh, across the top of the fence, and he's still going. How can you stop him? He is awesome with the ball in his hands. He puts his mind to it. He takes them deep on the attack. Here's Sherwin again, rubbering for himself, but Shafovsky once again saves the day. What a run from Big Willie.
Well, Big Willie, that's what he's been doing. He's been targeting the littler guys. I'm sure Brett thinks that the message will go out from the coaches to move around in that defensive line. Don't stay in the one spot for too long, because Mason will pick you out. He's been defending on the right side. He's got to move to the left. He's got to get him behind the line. He's got to make it difficult for the Bulldogs to spot him.
Yeah, simple game plan from the Dogs. It's just called Free Willie, and that's what they'll be looking to do, just trying to put him in the space every time.
That's a flop. No, that's a flop. He's already on the ground, then you've come in second time. Flop against him there.
The second time, Craig Polamatta has been penalised in this game for infringement around the play of the ball.
Alan Tongue talked to him on the 10. They're going to get back to me all day.
So Polamatta there. It's the second man in. The tackle had already been affected on Brett Finch, who came on the last tackle as well. Great chance for the Raiders once again to extend this lead they have. Here's Terry Martin into Steve Reardon. He's just outside the 20. Wolford lost his feet, tended up there with Reardon. For the moment, Oaten says play on. Here's Tongue again, spinning and offloading through Finch. Comes away to Darren Porter. He puts their head down, and Corey Hughes hung onto him by a fingernail. Otherwise, he was going to be away. McClendon. Ball away to Alan Tongue, who was hitting it at speed. He coughed it up, and Patton just dishes it off. Has him El Masri. Enterprising play once again by the Raiders. The passes might have stuck on that
Put him down
occasion.
again. Get off him.
And now they give up a penalty as well. Much needed one by the Bulldogs. The kick isn't a good one, and Shafovsky bats it back in field and will keep it in play. What a piece of work from the fullback. They tried to bite off too much with the kick, and Shafovsky was athletic. Nagus has knocked it under.
Oh, what a disappointment, because we just saw a little bit of artistry from that man, Clinton Shafovsky. And that's just what their whole game's about, the Canberra Raiders today. They're so enthusiastic. Take a look at this. He's inside the field of play. He leaps, gets the tap back in. Fantastic stuff. Brett Finch back there to support, and then they just bring it all undone.
Here come the Bulldogs. And they break their duck. 15 minutes left in the first half. Here's Rauhihi. Coming off the bench again tonight, recalled from First Division with the omission of Stephen Price from the front row. Darren Brett is 15 metres out. Polamatta has options to his right-hand side, comes back to the left shoe and runs at them. Got the ball away to Mason, who was running at Wolford. It was in fact Rauhihi who was going at them quickly. He has coughed it up, and the Raiders survive again.
It's a simple game plan by the Dogs. You just saw it then. First it was Britt, then it was Rahihi, and they had Willie Mason next time to go on the other side of the ruck. They're looking to use their three big men to form a wedge into that defence, and then they're going to try and operate off that.
Here's Darren Mapp. Takes it forward. In fact, it's Ryan O'Hara out there on the far side for the Raiders.
Former Bulldogs junior, Warren. They had a big opinion of him last year. He's only a young fellow. He's got plenty of potential. As Finch's kicking game has been superb tonight, he's found grass on every opportunity. It just gives the Raiders defensive line time to get down there in the one line, so the Bulldogs can't put plays on tackle one.
Breeden takes it outside the Bulldogs 30. Been in the tackle as well. Slows to play the ball down. Hughes will play it to Darren Britt. There's a lot of minutes. He's tackled at the halfway line. No tackles left in this set of 6 for the home side. Corey Hughes showing it to Willie Mason, hang on to it himself. The Raiders weren't about to fall for the dummy. Sherl kicking over the top. This will be too big.
Hand over.
Poor moments with the boot.
Where are we going here?
And the Raiders have it back in good position, just their own side of the 40-metre line.
Yeah, it's not what the Dogs were looking for at that time. And Sherwin, unfortunate for him, he kicked the ball out in the full. He's a guy that he looks dangerous with the football tonight, Brent Sherwin. He causes the Raiders some damage every time he's got the footy in his hands, and I'm sure that the defensive line of the Raiders have to be careful because he can cut you apart.
Falmawina. Back to Wolford. McClendon. Flat pass for Wiki. They did well to Lau and Hughes combining to stop him. And here's O'Hara. Runs it the teeth of the defence. Rauhihi and Mason there stop him. Wolford. Short ball. Got crunched. He got the pass away. The ball came away to the Bulldogs as well. Surprised to see Wolford bounce back to his feet as quickly as he did. Smashed in the tackle. Rauhihi takes it to O'Hara. Wolford, of course, has had plenty of trouble with shoulder injuries in recent times. Maybe perhaps carrying that right arm at the moment as he takes his place back in the defensive line. Here's Mason. He didn't have much pace when he took the ball. It was an easy target on this occasion for the likes of Porter and Martin. Amata gets the kick from dummy half. Shafovsky once again will try and bring it back and beat a couple of tackles. Got away from Darren Smith. Very rare occasion that the first man gets him. Wolfgram now. Takes it outside that Raiders 20-metre line. Just under 12 minutes left in this first half. The Green Machine controlling the game, doing a terrific job in defence. Defended. Back for Nagus. Manuel. An offload to Wolford. Numbers there for the Raiders, but the Bulldogs' defensive line was a pretty straight one. A little bit unhappy about the tackle. I think it might have been a high shot in there. Rutchison gets a ball back to Nagus. He gives it back to McClendon. Here they go again. One-on-one with Luke Patton. He turns it back for Rutchison, who's brought down from behind. Terrific piece of cover work from Darren Smith. They have to go left, and they do. From O'Hara, away to Finch. A ball on the outside for Terry Martin. Dumps it back for Alan Tubb. He gives it back to Wolfram. Now it comes to O'Hara. He offloads it to Falmawina. Still it's alive. There's a whistle in there.
Hand over right there. Pick it up and play it with your foot.
Called
10 metres, 10
forward
metres.
pass, did he, or the tackle? It was a very quick call of held if it was. It must have been for a forward pass, but I failed to see where there was one.
Yeah, I think he called it for a forward pass. The Raiders, their offloading skills tonight have been superb. They're creating the second phase play. The Bulldogs, they're ineffective in their first up contact, which is allowing the Raiders to unload the football. We spoke about it earlier. They've got players that can do damage in open play. They're very quick on their feet, and that's an area that the Bulldogs have to improve.
There's Corey Hughes. He Kick in over the head of Shafovsky. Track it down about 5 metres out from his own line. And he gives it off to Manuel. The Raiders side has only 5 players from their starting 13 from this corresponding game in round 2 at the moment, holding off the Bulldogs. 14 points to nil as their captain Wolford goes back to the bench, and Andrew McFadden is out there. Finch gives it off to Alan Tongue.
Well, a danger time now that they've got the 2 Macs on the football field. Two of the best attackers in the club.
Falmer-Weiner away to Wolf Brown. A chance down that left-hand side for a second before Reardon made the tackle. Here is McFadden to Finch. Got away from Mason. Back to McClendon again, who's running at will now. Gives it back to McFadden. Oh, great try by the Raiders. They are turning it on, and they have stunned this Bulldogs crowd.
Well, it all comes about by the second phase play that the Raiders are able to create. And this time it was a ball to McClendon who hit the hole. They're having success on the edges of the ruck. The Bulldogs, they get a bit wide in the defensive line, and that enables some short passes with guys hitting the holes to be successful, to find some gaps. And this time McClendon, beautiful on his feet, links up with his partner in crime, McFadden, who's just come onto the football field, and that's a wonderful football try.
Now the Dogs' defence haven't shown enough respect for the Raiders' attack. That is quite simple. But the 2 guys that take the ball to line, at this part of the game when there's only 10 minutes left on the clock, the big men are tired. The little steppers like the 2 Macs, McClendon and McFadden, they can move laterally from side to side. The big men, well, their reflexes are down a bit. At this stage of the game, they are tired. And that was a very shrewd move by Mal and Matthew Elliott to get, their 2 best attacking players on near the death of this first half from the opposition side. They did it, and they've reaped the rewards.
Well, they keep getting McClendon into open spaces. Back on the bench. Not a happy sight for Nigel Vangina. 3-try hero last week. He spent the majority of this first half on the sideline. You can see Shafovsky second only to Jason Taylor as far as goal kicking this year. He keeps getting chances from this close. The percentage will head north all the time. This one right across that black dot as well. What a scoreline we have here. Do not adjust your sets. 20 points to his shoulders. In recent years in the top grade, see guards on both biceps there as well. I'd like to get him back out there. Of course, they've already lost Michael Hodgson for this game. They'll afford to have Wolford out of action as well, and just 2 men on the bench for the remainder, even though they do lead 20 points to nil. Rutchison, in the absence of DeVico and Payton, he's been terrific. Finch going himself. He's tackled 10 short of the halfway line. 3 tries to the Raiders, and they've looked great in doing it. Terry Martin showing it. And that right arm cocked again, looking for yet another offload for the Raiders. McFadden from dummy half. Away to Shafovsky. They come down the middle of the park again. Rutchison standing. He'll offload or try to. He can't get it away. And he's tackled just outside the Bulldogs 30. 6 more tackles touched by a Bulldog. Another full set of 6 to work in here for the Raiders. McFadden waits. Another try. And a handful of Raiders fans here would be absolutely doing handstands. Here's Nagus. Almost split the gap there between Mason and Britt. They keep it alive again. McFadden got it back to Finch. Desperate tackle off the boot. The ball's still alive. They'll get 6 more tackles. They are trying at will now to score a 4th try.
Well, it is the Raiders. I haven't seen them play this good this year. They're just keeping the ball alive at every opportunity. The Bulldogs, they aren't wrapping up the ball carrier. They're having a lot of success creating second phase play, and they're having a lot of success with passing, stringing 2 and 3 passes together. The Bulldogs defensive line, they get a bit wide as you go out, and they're having a lot of success doing that.
The dropout isn't a good one. It's Falmer-Weiner who will bring it back to the Bulldogs 20 when he's tackled there on the first. 5 minutes left. McFadden Short ball away for O'Hara. It's just 12 metres out in front of the post. Here's Hutchison going quickly from first receiver, almost split the gap there in behind the ruck. What a great game he's having. Here's McFadden again. Hutchison slow to get back to his feet. McClendon comes back to Finch. Ball back on the inside for Wiki, who will go very close. Still trying. They think he's got there. Marco says no, he didn't. In fact, he knocked the ball on over the line.
Well, he's very confident, Oaten. He said no try as the Bulldogs trying to get a quick restart. The crowd trying to force a penalty on Oaten, but the Bulldogs, they did really well there to defend their line. The Raiders were building plenty of momentum.
Here's Polomouta turning it back now for Mason. Rolls it backwards for Polomouta, rugby union style. Here is El Masri getting crushed now. Strong tackle by Ruben Wiki. Rauhihi. So important, you get the feeling, for the Raiders to hang on here in this final 4 minutes and keep the Bulldogs scoreless.
Come on, drag it back, don't go early.
Up in front of Mark Oaten on this occasion. Polomouta will kick for the sideline. Gave away an important try just before half-time against the New Zealand Warriors last week. See what happens here. Here's Barry Ward. Takes it inside the 10. Sims, 1 in 17, goes to dummy half. Hughes gives it back to Rauhihi. Not too far away from the line, a metre or so. Hughes comes back to Sims. He fires a pass to Polomouta. Turns it back inside for Redden, who puts it down. The Raiders have hung on again. Awesome defence in this first half. Just scintillating attack.
Well, it's been good because they've been able to dominate possession. When they've had the ball, they've treated it with respect. They've created second phase play. The Dogs, on the other hand, when they've had the football, they're trying to play catch-up. They're trying to force the pass. They're playing that flat style of game, and the Raiders are meeting them and putting pressure on. And they're coming up with errors.
Alan Sung, another offload. Brought it back to Darren Matt. Former Bronco is tackled 5 short of the halfway line. Here's McFadden now. He will kick from dummy half. Pat, go back inside his own 10. 2.5 minutes left in this first half. Dragged down by Wiki. Kicking game for the most part. Has been very good. Here's Talau. Just 10 short of the halfway line. Outplayed, out-muscled in this first 40 minutes, the Bulldogs. Still a couple to go, though, as Mason tries to create something. Could have easily been a penalty there. Pushed back to the ground as he got back to his feet. Here's Howland. Suddenly, the Bulldogs are playing like the Raiders did last week against the Warriors.
Well, they're frustrated, the Bulldogs. They're trying things. They're just not coming off. The Raiders have had every bit of luck go their way, but they're competing. They've been very enthusiastic.
If he's going to do it to them, that'll penalise him as well.
The good part about the
country kid.
Yeah, like all of us, mate.
I think he was like that.
Just fall there.
And Mark Oaten along with
Heads in. Green staying.
the Bulldogs forward pack, gasping for breath. Last chance, you would think, for the Raiders. Just over a minute left in this first half, or Alan Tongue might have got a little bit of work over the top there from Steve Reardon, and Tongue takes off after him as well. Had to put one on the chin there of Steve Reardon. That might get a look at later in the week by the judiciary. Here's Luke Patton. Tongue certainly unhappy about it. Appeared to be a forearm or an elbow from Reardon over the top as Tongue was laying on the ground. Here's Ward playing it. Hughes gives it off to Mason. Dixon is hanging on to that right leg. Comes to Rauhihi. Met by Wiki. Just got away from his tackle.
Well, can't slacken off now. They've hunted as a pack, the Raiders, in defence. Only seconds to go.
25 of them as Polomouta steps off that right foot. Comes infield where he's tackled there by O'Hara. El Masri getting a dummy half. Short ball for Corey Hughes. It was forward, and the Raiders will hang on and keep the Bulldogs scoreless in this first half. They just kept coming at them. Mason, Rauhihi and Britt have all been stopped time and time again. And Mark Oaten says that will do us for the first 40 minutes. The Bulldogs fans are unhappy. They've got no reason to be though, because the Canberra Raiders side has just outplayed their team.
Show us a bit of what got us here, a bit of toughness mentally and physically, and I'd be surprised if the Dogs don't start off 100 miles an hour in this second 40.
We mentioned at the start of the game, Stephen Folks, and of course was something of a danger game with the Raiders in such poor form, and he was well aware that they'd lost. Hadn't won for 5 games. They were due to turn it around, and there's so many players out, so many inexperienced players with nothing to lose. They've really turned it on tonight. Shafovsky gets his back underway. Rolls down for Luke Patton. He gives it off for Barry Ward, who beats the first tackle. Sims comes away to Rauhihi. As soon as they explode in this opening to the second half the way they did at Bruce Stadium earlier this year, here's Barry Ward again, taking the ground by McFadden. Olamata comes to Mason. Good one-on-one tackle made by the much smaller McClendon. And there's the hooker who gets the kick away from first receiver. Nagus. Clean it up as Shafovsky in support. Just takes it forward and is tackled outside the 20. The Raiders this season, when leading at half-time, they have been in that position 7 times this year. They've won 3, lost 3, and drawn 1. Not before have they had a 20-point lead against the team this year of the Bulldogs calibre. Finch could have been penalised and will be.
You watch where you're swinging that too.
Shepherd,
that arm,
was going to offload to Russ.
swinging arm over the top. Watch where it's going, that's all.
Just danced around the back of him with a warning on the run for one of the Bulldogs. An arm over the top. Here they are now, just outside the Raiders 20. Well, he or brother Mason takes it up. Polomata. Give it off to Barry Ward, who runs a long way before he gets to the defensive line. McFadden was there to stop him. Polomata, to the right they come. Cut out ball for Patton, trying to step inside Alan Tongue. They stop him just a couple of metres away. El Masri gives it to Polomata, Grubbers. Here's Shafovsky, cleans up. They'll force him in goal, and the Bulldogs will get 6 more tackles.
Stay behind it.
Well, the Raiders
back off it.
So far started just how they wanted in the second half. They cannot afford to give the Doggies any sniff at all. Solid defensive line there. Saw out the 6. They're going to have to do it again now, and they're going to have to do it all this second half because the Dogs, all out attack will come from them. They're 20 points behind. There's no other way.
Polomata fields it. Gives it off to Barry Ward. The ball in his hands a lot in this, his 100th first grade game. Rauhihi. So back to almost the Raiders 20. So important for them to hang on in these opening exchanges, you would think. Here's Hughes giving it to Mason. Another good tackle by McClendon on Mason. That's 2 already in the opening 3 minutes of this second half. Here's Corey Hughes coming back and giving it on his inside to Roy Sims. He's just 8 metres away. Great numbering up by the Raiders so far in this game, and again El Masri is crunched as he gets to the line. Last tackle for the Bulldogs. Sims comes to Hughes. Cut out ball for Barry Ward. Gets it back to Darren Smith, and he just submits to the tackle there. Great defence by the Raiders.
Well, it's great defence. They had to be strong on their line as we see Andy McFadden leaving the field with a hand injury. But this will be a good test for the Bulldogs here tonight. They're 20 points down at half-time. They can go to equal competition lead. The Raiders have got a number of players out, and we'll see whether the Bulldogs are genuine title contenders.
We saw a shot there of Andrew McFadden coming from the field, holding an arm or a wrist. He looks to be in all sorts of trouble and is being rushed back to the Raiders' rooms. The Bulldogs come up with a turnover. Here's Reardon. Desperate tackle made by Alan Tongue. Here's Darren Smith. El Masri fires a pass. It goes to Polomouta. Rauhihi spinning in the tackle. Back to Polomouta. The ball went forward and Wolford cleans up for the Raiders.
Yes, the Raiders survived their defence, acting with a lot of urgency there. That's one of the keys for them. They're getting off the line before these big men get loaded up. And I'm going to say the one-on-one defence by the Raiders, outstanding.
Here's Wolford. Comes to Nagus. There's almost a chance on this left-hand side for the Raiders had Nagus been able to get the ball away. Now Falmawina. So just outside their own 30. Wolford comes away to Alan Tongue. Short pass away to McClendon. Pocket. Tongue was held back.
Held off the ball.
He has been pretty much everywhere, Alan Tongue. Held back on that occasion. It's a tireless performance from him tonight. So many offloads. Here he is just being grabbed by Rauhihi, taken out of it.
He wasn't grabbed by one player. There was two players holding onto the jumper.
Here we are, men. Wait.
The Raiders.
Assist in front
on the attack for the first time in this second
one
half.
team's this line here. Paul, get off, get
O'Hara.
off.
Finch comes back for Hutchison. Still going. Ward tries to drag him to ground. Eventually he does after Hutchison picked up an extra 15 metres. Wolford from dummy half. Comes back to Finch. Here's Wiki now. Shafovsky dancing, looking for a way through and almost finds it. Wolford back to Darren Maddock. Over the top for Wolfram, who almost got there, reached out and is held up in the field of play. Oaten says play on. It comes from McClendon. They were up very quickly off the line. He got it over the top though to Finch, to Nagus, stepping off that right foot. He stands, gets away from them. He's brought down just inside the 10. Wolford screaming instructions from dummy half. Has Wiki outside him. Second phase play. It comes to Finch. Great kick this time. So they force the goal line dropout. Suddenly, those last tackle options are working just as they weren't last week.
Well, they had to work on them this week, and they're playing a treat tonight, the Raiders. They're keeping the ball alive, and what it does when you create a bit of second phase play, you not only defend 6 tackles, you've got to keep coming up when they're offloading the ball. It feels like you've done 2 sets in a row. And the Bulldogs, they are renowned for a fit side, and they will have to be here tonight.
Here's Darren Mapp's short pass for Ryan O'Hara. Good tackle made by Glenn Hughes with the help of Rauhihi. Wolford, almost an intercept there by Reardon. Still over half an hour left. Plenty of time for the Bulldogs. But already signs that they know that they need to get something going, to create something here.
Well, the Bulldogs do, but the Raiders also know that 20 points is not a big enough lead. They've got their thought process has to be, we've got to be the next to score. They've just got to take that with them for the full 80 minutes. The Bulldogs, on the other hand, well, they have to be the next to score.
Finch. Way to McClendon, one-on-one with Polomouta, who was out of the scrum. Just the face there of Nagus and cleaned up by Manuel. Nagus. The Wiki will play. Just 12 metres out. Matt takes it forward. To offload. And Tongue lurking behind him. Here's Wolford again. Comes back to his right. Shafovsky stepping off that right foot. Tackled by Roy Sims. He's just metres away. Wolford. Short pass again. Reardon rushes up and knocks it on once more. And he's given the Raiders 6 more tackles.
Well, this is just perfect for the Raiders, because what they're getting practice inside the 20-metre area, and that's what they need to do.
They're hanging on for the moment, the Bulldogs. We wonder for how much longer. They're down 20. The Raiders searching to make it 24, if not 26. Finch comes away to McClendon. Again, almost one-on-one there with Polomouta. He's got away from the scrum to help him. And go from dummy half. All the way through for Finch. They'll play it back to McClendon. Wolford. Options. Finds Wiki. To players in motion close to the line. Fast play the ball. Comes to Alan Tongue. He wasn't quite ready for it. Circles around, comes to Barry Ward, who cleans him up. Just inside that Bulldogs 10 still. Here's Rutchison. They stop him a couple of metres away. Wolford goes to his left-hand side. Finch to Falmawina on the last tackle. That pass was forward from the halfback to his centre. The Bulldogs have hung on.
Here, bring it back, wait. Now I'll give you 10 metres, okay?
Marco
Just
wants
hold.
the ball played on the mark. So they'll work the way. Masri there, brought to ground by Falmawina, who used a leg, but obviously had a hand in there as well. Marco finds the Raiders up inside the 10. A kick again, which doesn't find the line. They tried to bite off too much distance for the second time in this game. What a turnover that is. They've done so much work in defence. They finally get the ball and give it straight back to the Raiders. Stephen Folks, his teeth will be powder up in the grandstands. O'Hara, 35 metres out. Finch goes to McClendon. Ball back on the inside for Wiki. The pass was a little bit too wide for the second rower. They've handed it straight back to the Bulldogs as well.
Well, I think what you'll find happened there, Warren, was Polomount. He tried to inspire his teammates by getting a quick kick away, but they've been doing so much defending. They were tired. He was also tired himself. You make some terrible decisions when you are tired. And tonight the Bulldogs have had to defend a lot, and the Raiders just creating a lot of second phase play and causing havoc.
Sherwin have easily picked up a penalty there for his side. Here's Reardon. Comes back to Rauhihi.
Come on, Adele.
Polomount. The first receiver role now. Ball came back to Barry Ward. Forward pass though to Brett Howland.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. It was close. I'm just watching. Ball's gone forward, yeah. Hey, leave it.
Charlotte Warford didn't want the ball. He wanted a penalty as well.
Here we are.
Thought it might have been a deliberate forward pass. It was promising for Barry Ward when he hit the open spaces. He knew where he needed to get it. And he threw it forward though and getting it there. Darren Britt for the moment on the bench with Glenn Hughes also there. The captain looking on. They trail by 20. Here's Nagus. Offload again. Back to Falmawina. He's got a lot of territory across the park tonight, Nagus. Bobbing up on the left-hand side, the right-hand side. Here's Finch. Ball back for O'Hara, who bounced away from tacklers. Doing his own Willie Mason impersonation there for a moment. In fact, it was Darren Mack. Just outside the Bulldogs 30, Wolford to dummy half. Here's Wiki. That gap in behind the ruck. Sims hung on to him. Wolford was there ready to fire it to his right-hand side. That's where they go now. Looping past to Finch. He gives it to McClendon. He finds Nagus. Tackled by Talau. Finch puts the kick in, but the pass from Nagus to Finch was forward again.
Mark him here.
Spate of forward passes suddenly in this game.
Well, the Raiders are at their best when they can get good go forward. Wolford getting out of dummy half, turning guys inside and out. And that's what they've been able to achieve tonight. They've had success stringing passes together. They're creating a lot of second phase play. It's been the most dominant performance I've seen by a Raiders side in a long time.
Since you were there, Laurie.
Terry, hold here.
Sims straight back to his feet. Now Shirley gets this kick away over the head of Shafovsky. Got a pretty good bounce. It set up for him nicely. So the Raiders working away from inside their own 20 again, but they've been very effective inside their own territory tonight. Most notable, they've hardly coughed up any possession at this end of the field. McClendon Circled around them and visions of going further downfield for a moment. Nagus again.
He has been strong tonight, Ken Nagus, Warren. Getting involved at every opportunity. He's playing right centre, and he's bobbed up all over the park tonight.
Here's Finch. He's kicking now from dummy half. Kick that will roll down and find the touchline. Oh, yes, it did. Howland watched it bounce and bounce and bounce. The Raiders will love that. Lead up some time off the clock, and they'll make the Bulldogs work from inside their own territory from a set play situation.
A very composed set of 6 by the Raiders there. They worked it for the 5, then put a kick in. And that was a great kick by Finch. It just found the right place as Darren Britt. They looked to get him on they'll move him on as soon as they possibly can. But it was just mature play by this Raiders side. That's what they need to show for the rest of the second half.
So Howland has it. Comes to Willie Mason. Apart from one run, it's been well handled by the Raiders tonight. They go again with Barry Ward down this short side, driven backwards. Terrific tackle by Wolfram with Falmawina over the top. He's a strong player, Falmawina. Sherwin. Cut out ball for Patton. Got away from the tackle there. Emmanuel, who was up looking for a big hit. McClendon stops him. Just inside Raiders territory. Last tackle now. Sherwin racing quickly. It's a kick off the side of the boot. The Raiders will just watch El Masri take it. He gives it back to Polomata. He puts a kick in. Shafosky, who's just floated behind the play the whole way across the park on that occasion, is right there to field it once again.
He's had another fine game tonight, Clinton Shafosky, but they've got to be careful, the Raiders. They've just got to keep continuing to do what's made them put points on the football, on the board. Promote the football, create that second phase play. Don't go into their shell and start looking at the clock, trying to wind it down, because the Doggies have just put on Darren Britt as Wolford
Gets away and gives it back to Brett Finch. He turned Patton inside out. Here's Alan Tung. They'll chop him down from behind. Try-saving tackle made by Brett Howland. Tung will get back to his feet to play it finally. They'll go from dummy half, and Finch has got there. Mark Oaten checks with the touch judges. Yes, he says. That might be enough. 24 points to 0. What a piece of play. They went so far downfield from the bust. Here it is again. Wolford linked up with Alan Tung, who looked likely to score for a moment there. Great work from Finch also to set it up.
Well, that's what they had to do. Don't go in their shell. There's still 22 minutes to go, and Wolford out of dummy half. He's one of the best in the business at doing it. Found Finch, who found Tung. Then a quick play, the ball, Finch sums it up. The Bulldogs, they come up hard off their line. They get a bit wide in the defensive line, and Finch, too good, scores a good try.
I'm going to tell you, the Bulldogs' marking defence is pretty scratchy. Wolford made the initial bust from dummy half, playing a real captain's game here.
The 19-year-old Finch picks up his 5th try of the year. And Shafosky, from right in front, will make this an incredible scoreline. The Bulldogs came here tonight with a chance of joining the Knights and the Broncos on 21 points at the top of the competition table. And they are getting lapped at the moment. Shafosky with the extra 2. It is 26 to block here in favour of the Canberra Raiders over the Bulldogs. Just on 21 minutes left. We have seen some incredible finishes to games this year. Would necessitate savage mood swing to get the Bulldogs back in this game, you would think.
Well, it's been an embarrassing outing for the Bulldogs so far. Seldom in this day and age decides failure on the scoreboard, and well, other than Polomata nearly going over in that first half, they've been a little bit shaky in that area. You can put that down to some youthful exuberance up front and some great defence by the Canberra Raiders.
I think what's happened though, Russell, too, is the Bulldogs over the past couple of weeks, they have missed a lot of tackles as Finch again on fifth tackle decides to run it.
Has them. 6 more.
6 to go.
And 0.
They've missed a lot of tackles, but they haven't been made to pay for it. Tonight, they've missed those tackles, but their scrambling fence just couldn't come up again. The Raiders have just put points on the board.
Here is Wolfram, just outside the Bulldogs 40. Piece of good fortune to get the 6 more tackles, and they will go deep in the Bulldogs territory again here. Here's Wolford, showing it a couple of times before he gave it back for Hutchison. He's tackled 25 out from the Bulldogs line. Wolford, sort of looking left and right, comes back to Brett Finch's side. Straight through them again, looking for his second in a matter of minutes. Patton drags him down from behind. Here's Falmolina. He'll give it. Comes back through Darren Mack. Way to Mark McClendon. He turns it back. Hara will take it there. In fact, was it Porter? It was Porter. He'll play it back for Wolford. Short ball for Finch, who got collared at the line. He's tackled there. That will do us on the turnover. The Bulldogs have hung on. They are still trailing by a huge deficit.
Yeah, I thought they really crucified a try there, the Raiders. Brett Finch had a man on the inside, Falmina, and didn't offload. Would have been a 4-pointer to shore, possibly a 6. If the game got wrapped up now, it certainly would have been.
Jamie Feeney, after Sims cleaned up the crumbs, takes it to the 20. Now Rauhihi, former Newcastle Knight, takes it just outside the 30. 18.5 minutes left. And still they are yet to score. Britt, short ball. Coming back the way of Corey Hughes, but a good tackle down low made by Darren Mapp. Polomata, he'll kick. Just on his side of the halfway line. It will skid into touch. They need to keep the ball in play at this stage of the game. Brent Sherwin being held from the field. Going back, looks fairly dazed. In fact, they'll take him up the tunnel. Might also have a hand injury there. Polomata's found touch and will force the Raiders into their scrum feed inside their own 20, but they need to keep the ball in play to keep the clock working for them.
Now, I'm sure that the Raiders would have been happy to see that ball go out over the sideline and choose up minutes on the clock for them. But they're playing so well tonight, the Raiders. And it's their young guys as well that have come up to the mark. I know they've placed a lot of faith in their ability this year. And at some stages, they haven't quite come up to the mark, but tonight, they're there.
Emmanuel. Play it back to Finch. Control things so well for such a young halfback tonight, Finch. And Nagus again. There's plenty of hit-ups at this end of the field. McClendon. Shafosky trying to step in traffic. And he's wrapped up. Wolfgram gives it off to Hutchison. Wolford will have it on the last tackle. Gets the kick away. Over the head of Howland, he goes back to his own goal almost to pick it up. A good chase from the Raiders again. 7 or 8 of them up there in a straight line. They are really buoyant at the moment. Rauhihi takes it outside their own 20. Polomata comes to Darren Britt. He's just outside the 30. They're doing it tough at this end of the field. Hughes turns it back for Willie to allow. Wolford got barreled backwards on the tackle there. Willie Mason prepares to come back into action. Reardon. He'll play it on the last tackle. El Masri going from dummy half. What can he start for them? Pass over the top. Found Talau. Brett Howland. Oh, the pass was called forward. I don't know about it. Allen was scampering down the sideline with a bit of space still in front of him. I'm not entirely sure about this being called forward. Maybe just slightly forward. He was trying to get the arms out in front and drag the ball backwards to Lau. He said he doesn't think it was forward. Might have been only just. Wiki
Well, that's the last thing that they wanted, the Canterbury Bulldogs side. The Bulldogs need possession to win this football match, and they just can't turn it over. Vice versa. The Raiders can't afford to give the Dogs any football. If they do, they're giving them a chance to get back into this game. There's still 15 minutes left. Okay, so it's a long shot, but they can still save some embarrassment.
They would need 5 converted tries. The Bulldogs, their biggest loss this year was by 28 points. When they were defeated here by the Broncos, 34 points to 6. That was back in round 7. This is a speaking of another kind tonight against a team that was a long way outside the top 8 coming into this game. They have played like one of the premiership frontrunners tonight.
There was this season on the line though, Warren, tonight. I know both teams had a lot to play for, but probably more so the Raiders. They knew if they lost tonight, then their season was gone. But they lived to survive. And if they can produce these type of performances, who knows?
Well, just outside the Raiders 10, if there'd be any hope, they need to score right here. Here's Hughes. Turns it. Comes back for Rauhihi. Hasn't been able to break the line tonight. Good tackle once again by Porter. Al-Masri gives it off to Polamatta. Grubbers for the in goal. Nagus with safe and sure hands. He'll clean it up and be forced back into his own in goal. They'll get 6 more tackles coming up, the Bulldogs. But the Raiders continue to keep their line intact.
You can see the confidence in the Raiders players now. Polamatta putting the ball in the in goal, and Nagus, who has been everywhere tonight, that time hanging back as a winger, attacking the football, trying to pick it up and showing how desperate he was to get out out of the in goal line. The Raiders want to try and keep this scoreline intact.
The last time the Bulldogs were held scoreless was against Penrith. It came to Stadium Australia early last year. Panthers won 26 points to 0 on that occasion. They're in danger of being shut out again here tonight. Hughes. Result with the Greek plays. Can it get the Bulldogs going? Seems not much can at the moment. Patton. Hughes. Comes away to Willie Mason looking for the line. The ball was raked out by Brett Finch. There were 2 in the tackle.
He pulled the ball in.
They concede a penalty. They may have stopped the try. Story Hughes will take it back almost to the 10. Take the tap. Here's Britt. The ball comes loose. Strong tackle by Ruben Wiki. What a tackle. And his teammates embrace him. What a big hit that was on the Bulldogs captain. They're leading forward. Just got creamed.
Easy in past matches, as we take a look at the rake here again, Brett Finch over the top. There it is. Here's the tackle. Gee, I can tell you this, they've been guilty in the past, especially in the second half, of falling asleep at the Raiders. Oh, not a chance this time. They are wide awake for this second half. Hits like that will get them home, and this will be a resounding victory for them. This could very well turn their season around. They'll only be 4, maybe 5 to 7 points out of the top 8.
They came into this game 5 points adrift of the top 8, depending on other results. Could be as few as 3. It's only a game and a half in real terms. Very much alive in this competition after this performance. Wolfgram. Just outside their 20. Wiki. What a game he's had. You could say that about all of the Raiders. Inside. Attended with the clearing kick from inside his own 40. Looking for the sideline. He finds it, a 40-20 from Mark McClendon.
Well, everything is going their way today, and they've totally deserved it. Their enthusiasm has been sensational out here tonight. The Bulldogs, I think they've been ambushed. I don't think they really expected the Raiders to be this aggressive at the football, in the tackles, and they've paid the price.
Been an outstanding performance by the Raiders so far in this match. Held their defensive line. They've scored 4 tries, and I don't think the Raiders have finished just yet.
is Alan Tongue. A worker play off the base of the scrum. It comes back to Shafovsky. Brings a pass. It comes away to Nagus. Fends away from Glenn Hughes' tackle. It comes again. The ball comes loose. Raked out with the two in the tackle there.
Oh, come on.
Mark Oates says there wasn't.
No, there was one in it. He stripped it out and knocked it forward. He stripped it out and knocked it forward. Who's played the ball last? That's just... That's real.
The Raiders will still get the ball back because it was raked out, but of course knocked forwards by the Bulldogs forward. Completion rates tonight, 58%, down on their season average.
And the completion rate has been down, but the possession certainly hasn't gone their way either. This Bulldog side have missed plenty of tackles, and when they've had possession, they've coughed it over too cheaply. As we see a rare win against the feed.
Who'd have thought? Luke Patton, intercepted by Terry Martin. The Raiders have it. Here's McClendon going from dummy half.
You've heard of the purple.
Everything going for the green machine at the moment. Here's Finch. Turns it back for Wiki. He's just a couple of metres away. Wolford spirals a pass to Finch. Short ball for Falmerina, who was set upon immediately. Tuck. Finch wrapping around the short side. Here's Porter, tackled just inside the near touchline. Last tackle for them. Wolfgang gives it off to Shafovsky. Crossfield bomb coming through Manuel. Pushed Howland. Oaten didn't see it, won't matter. Now he does give the Bulldogs a penalty. Sorry. Got in there and just shoved Howland out of the way. His eagerness to get to the ball.
So it was a good kick, well positioned. It gave his chasers plenty of time to get there. But unfortunately, pushing the back, you can't tackle a man without the ball.
And tonight, Warren, we spoke about it earlier in the game, about their last tackle options were poor last week, but tonight they've certainly been better. The football has gone to the guys that can kick the football or create something on last tackle. Last week it didn't happen, but tonight they've been spot on in that area and they've put a lot of pressure on this Bulldogs outfit.
Here's Barry Ward, tackled by McClendon. His defence for 5'8". Nothing short of outstanding tonight. He's had those forwards running at him. Mason has tried his luck, so has Ward. Here goes Britt, looping a pass to be intended for Patton. Intercepted by Falmerina.
Well, that'll come as no surprise. The Dogs are going to push the pass, there's no doubt about that. If the Raiders are aware and keep their mind and eyes open, they'll come up with a few more possessions because the Doggies do have to force the pass.
Here's Tongue. It's back from Wolford to Shafovsky. Of course, both these teams will get the weekend off next weekend as State of Origin 2 takes place just across the road here at Stadium Australia. They come back from the break as Falmerina makes a break himself under the tackles, looking to score between the posts, and he does. It caps off a brilliant performance. What a game they've had. Who'd have thought they would score 30 points against the Bulldogs and keep them scoreless at the same time? It's mind-boggling.
And you've touched on it there, Warren. Mind games. Mentally, they haven't been right for this game. The Bulldogs, the Raiders have come out and ambushed them straight from the kick-off. Britt trying to force the pass. Falmerina started it and finished it. Great footwork. Just a tremendous talent. They get out of dummy half. Wolford again. This has been the story all night. Second phase play has just killed the Bulldogs. And Falmerina selling the dummy to Patton. Too much pace. Fantastic effort and a good win for the Raiders.
Yeah, big miss early on up front by two forwards. Here it comes to get a view there. Two arm tackles. He just goes straight through. Patton takes the option of moving to the football, but it's a rule for all fullbacks. Take the man with the ball. Patton fell asleep there and just opened the door. And that is try number 5 for the Raiders. And what a night they've had. Won't they celebrate on the way back to the ACT?
We said earlier in the game that he only found the winner very much a David Violecki style of player, showing Some Violecki strength and skills there.
He has got all the skills, Warren. A couple of years ago, they were looking to take him to America on a scholarship for basketball. Very good with the basketball in his hand, but he elected to play rugby league. That's what he loves. He's only had a couple of seasons.
The kick from right in front just adds insult to injury for the Bulldogs. 32 points to nil. We've got just on 5 minutes left. Comprehensive thrashing by the Raiders of the Bulldogs. They have had their chances, the home team, but this loss will really hurt. Game, I'm sure just about every Bulldog fan would have notched up for 2 points considering both teams' recent form. All these doubts once again about the Bulldogs' claims of being a real title contender after a loss like this. Forward pack outplayed by an undermanned Canberra side. Ruben Wiki, perhaps his best game of the year, and I suppose you could say that about a number of his teammates. McLennan puts it off there to Darren Mapp. They got one more for us. Plenty of time for them here. Wiki. Darren Britt pushes up to make the tackle. Finch. Bradbury looking for the sideline this time. Howard will go back. Almost lost it. Manuel was there as well to clean up. And he dropped it again. Here's Patton. Steve Reardon limps off. A bad night for injuries for both teams. The Raiders, remember, done this after they lost Michael Hodgson in the opening couple of minutes with a knee injury, and also Andrew McFadden. He left the field early on in the second half with what looked to be a broken arm.
Well, it's just been a mighty performance by the Raiders. They've just come out here and they've just totally dominated the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are shell-shocked. They've had 32 points put on them. Other than the one opportunity in the first half, they haven't really looked like scoring. And to a man, they've been outplayed. And I'm sure the coaching staff for the Raiders would have been happy with that. They would have said to their players before the game, if you can beat your man, we're half a chance, or better than half a chance of winning this football game.
I'd love to know what they did at Bruce Stadium in Canberra during the week of training to turn around their effort of last week against the Warriors to this effort we've seen tonight. One of the complete performances we've seen from any team this year. They have just been outstanding in every facet of the game. They give the Bulldogs a chance here. Knocked on by El Masri. He might have been able to scamper to the line to finally break their duck. They are odds on now to finish this game as scoreless. Matt Elliott, he's working that gum overtime on the bench at the moment. What a win it's been for him. He will have the reins all to himself next year. He has been calling the shots in recent times, being eased into the role by Mal Meninga and the Canberra Raiders. Meninga will move on at the end of this season. It'll be a heartening victory for them. Probably a shame it didn't come in front of the home fans who could have done with a bit of a heartwarmer themselves.
Yeah, well, they would have been disappointed with their efforts and performances last week, the Raiders. It would have been a long week. They get an opportunity tonight to turn it around, and haven't they what?
Wiki. Just over 90 seconds left here. 42 points to nil as Wolford goes again. Shafovsky. Kicked by Finch. Knocked down. Played out, or off the hand at least, of the Bulldog, and they come away with it now. Smith turns it back for El Masri. He's hardly had a chance tonight. Usually creates something. Nigel Vogler has been missing for almost the entire game himself for the Bulldogs with an ankle injury. Saw him on the bench with ice to an ankle, and Darren Smith has been forced to play inside El Masri all game. Here's Glenn Hughes putting down a ball this time. That sums up the Bulldogs' night almost in just that particular piece of play. So many times in the second half they've coughed it up. The completion rate remains a poor one in this game. Here's Tuck. Martin. Comes away to Falmoina once again. Won't go to ground. So now just hanging on to him. If you look ahead past the State of Origin break next weekend, the Raiders will take on the Sharks in round 16, while the Bulldogs will face the Newcastle Knights up there at Marathon Stadium. And they will be breathing fire after going down on their home turf last night to the Roosters.
I think this competition has shown, Warren, you've got to be ready to play. And if you aren't, then sides will beat you. And this has been a comprehensive victory to the Raiders tonight.
The siren sounds and the boos ring out from the Bulldogs fans for their performance tonight. They've been beaten 32-0, if you don't mind, by the Canberra Raiders. An incredible performance. Winless in their last 5 games, the Raiders. They had just the 1 point to show from that after a draw against the Brisbane Broncos. They have broken that streak in emphatic fashion tonight. Let's go down to Russell Fairfax, who I'm sure has some very happy Raiders with him.
Yeah, thanks, Warren. Joining me, Raiders coach Matty Elliott. Matty, that's got to be the best performance of the Raiders since you've been in charge.
Well, Mel and I are in charge, and I thought it was, footy's about what you're thinking, and it was pretty evident this week that we were thinking a lot differently to what we were last Sunday. And with all the adversity the players have gone through with injury and I guess the position on the table we are, you've got to be really proud of them.
Yeah, I guess it was a terrific game plan. It worked a treat. You wanted to move their big men around. You wanted to play the game very quickly.
Yeah, game planning's easy. It's getting the players to follow it and believe in it, and this week we obviously pulled it off.
The defence of the side, simply outstanding. The Raiders hunted as a pack.
Yeah, that's the bit of the scoreline that I enjoy the most, the 0 bit. If you can keep that every week, you're a chance of winning, aren't you?
Your two halves, Finch and McClendon, performed this week. I think they should perform every week, but it's because they've got the talent.
There's no doubt about that, but we also need to have the people around them knowing exactly what to expect, and I think we're getting closer to that happening.
Your standout performer, or are they all good for you today?
When you lose as many quality players as we have, in a 2-week period, it's a real team effort, and to pick anyone out would be disrespectful to the other 16 guys who performed tonight.
Matty, congratulations. Enjoy the winners. I just step across to the skipper, Simon Wolford. Simon, you're in the battles there early in the game, but gee, an outstanding victory, and one you guys have really worked for. No wins in the last 5 weeks. It finally arrived.
No, we have. I mean, we've been pretty disappointed with what we've come up over the last 5 weeks. I mean, we've had some good performances and some bad ones, yet we've only got 1 point over the past 5 weeks, so we really needed a win tonight for our sake on the table and for our confidence, so we're really happy with it.
Getting on top of a tough pack like that is no mean feat. You guys clearly the dominant side.
Yeah, I know. I mean, how many times do you see it? A team loses a couple of key players, and the other guys that come in step up, and they knew, without Luke DeVico and Jason Croker there tonight, they knew they had to step up, and they did it.
Great win. Your hopes are still alive.
Yeah, they are. We're still